This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station. And here's what you need to know.
Some of the top college football teams broke in new quarterbacks on Saturday. Carson Beck led number 1 Georgia to a 48-7 win over UT Martin. Kyle McCord, the starter for number 3 Ohio State. Their offense sputtered throughout their 23-3 win against Indiana. And new Crimson Tide quarterback Jalen Milroe accounted for 5 touchdowns. It's number 4 Alabama won big against Middle Tennessee 56-7. 3 more games on tap today. Northwestern at Rutgers at noon Eastern. Number 18 Oregon State at San Jose State at 3:30. Then the top 10 showdown tonight, 7:30 from Orlando, number 5 LSU and number 8 Florida State. FIBA World Cup group play, Team USA has kicked it into gear after they trailed Lithuania by 19 points early. The U.S. is within 4 heading to the fourth quarter. In baseball, the Braves beat the Dodgers 4-2 last night in L.A. It's the 6th straight win for Atlanta. I'm Nick Cope.
This is the My Guy Referrals Weather Center. Visit MyGuy.com for 5-star local referrals. Make My Guy your guy.
As ahead for your Sunday, we'll top out probably around 99 degrees or so. Overnight, fair skies, and about 80. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, save $50 on select DeWalt power tools. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Offer valid 8/1 through 10/28.
It's time for Don McDowell Outdoors on Fox Sports 910. A show for the avid fisherman and hunter looking for tips from the pros. Now here's your host, a saltwater fisherman and the man that fears no fish. He's the bass daddy and a tournament pro, Don McDowell.
Hey, I want to welcome everybody a safe, restful, peaceful holiday. No issues, no acting up. What do you think the odds are?
Slim to none.
Slim to none. All right, hey, welcome to Don McDowell Outdoors. Good friend, special guy, great sport, wonderful fisherman. Matt Shura is in the house. Good morning. How you doing,
Good
buddy?
morning to you. Thanks for having me, Don.
I appreciate you taking time out of your 3-day weekend to come down and join us. Hey, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. The left coast over there is WFO. You can figure out what that means. They had 13 boats out yesterday, 14 trips, 352 anglers. Hang on to your seat. 772 Dorado hit the deck. Wow. That is, I got to tell you, that's the best table fare. That is, yum. Oh. Aside from that, there was 399 rockfish, 68 yellowfin bit it, 44 barred sand bass, 41 spotted bass, sculpin, calico bass, 18 bluefin. Now the bluefin bite is a little off. We're going to try to figure that out in only 3 yellowtail. The Grande had an overnight with 34, 68 Dorado, 12 bluefin, a yellowtail. The rest of the guys, the jig strike did well. 15 anglers, 15 guys.
Wow.
15 guys. 150 Dorado in a BFT. Malahini had 15 guys out, 30 Dorado. I don't know what the new boat, the Horizon, did. We'll find out. Old Glory, you will know that if you're as old as I am. You will know that as a Cherokee Geisha. Oh, God, what an awesome boat. 22 anglers, 180 Dorado, a bunch of rockfish, 3 bluefin. The Producer did 26 on an overnight, 52 Dorado. And then the Vendetta 2 had a full day, 24 anglers, and they brought home 111 Dorado.
They're biting.
Bam. Time to go. All right, that's what we've been waiting for. Let's see, on the agenda, Matt and I are going to be kicking around seasonal pattern variations, dove season swings. Now, here's what happens. You go outside on, about mid-August, and you go, wow, a lot of humidity. You go, man, it smells like dove season.
Yep.
Okay? And then the next thing you do is you start getting excited because those of us that have an elk tag or a turkey tag, deer tag, and all that kind of stuff, really start getting excited. Clean your guns for the 14th time since you haven't fired it. Going through your day bag and your backpack and going through the truck and all that stuff, getting excited. And then on the freshwater side, the bass are starting to do some seasonal variations in their behavior. I'd say probably another 3 weeks, their metabolism's going to start slowing down a little bit. But right now they've got a high metabolism because of the heat and the water temperature, and they're chewing out a lot of stuff. And it's up to you guys to make the right decision on what stuff you're going to offer them.
Exactly.
So Matt's going to give us a hint on that. James Guggenauer, 7:30. Last week he was up in Dunkerby Lodge in British Columbia. Chris Rich is in parts unknown. Week before last, he killed a nice big bear, and he was up in the mountains. Let me see. I think I can tell you where he was. I'll keep looking. Anyway, he's up there catching trout again, so it's all good. And then I want to give a shout-out to little brother Carter Lawrence, was up in northern Arizona on the Blue Rooster Ranch. Yesterday, he was skilled enough with his Matthews bow to harvest a nice buffalo and a huge feral hog.
Cool.
Same day. Boom, boom. Yeah. Kid's awesome. I mean, he's a nice, I shouldn't call him a kid. That's the problem. You get as old as I
know.
I mean, you're just a punk.
Not anymore.
But no, Carter is a dedicated sportsman. He's the board member at large on the Arizona Deer Association. And I tell you what, my hat's off to him. Buffalo, in my mind, is a long gun. Feral hog, same thing. But, wow, what an accomplishment to harvest those guys with a stick and a string. So, all right, that's all good. Then we'll talk to Captain Bill. Captain Bill will be on the sat phone, which probably he will be on the horizon far from shore. So, anyway, that's what we're up to. You have and we got Doug at the Dairy Queen. What's happening, Doug? How's your newsletter this week?
Well, it's pretty busy. We got a lot to talk about.
Okay.
Especially, remember last week I talked about that horse wreck over on the Idaho-Montana border?
Yeah.
Today, it's on there, but I have the video out there too. So while you're sitting there, you got to look at that video.
Okay, so all the horses survived?
Yes.
Okay.
But you wouldn't know that by looking at it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll go down through and we've got 3 fallen LEOs post every time on roll call. Sounds like a pretty good newsletter, but you have the floor, Matt. You have your tackle, a couple of small tackle boxes here. With
Yeah, this is actually some of the demo baits that I bring. You have to cut the hooks off at Bass Pro. They get mad at us if we actually kiss.
That's painful.
Yeah, if we stick them. But that's one thing I noticed this time of year. A lot of the hunters and everything, they don't show up to the tournaments, if they get drawn and everything else. So I don't. I spend all the time on the water and haven't really been hunting, to be honest with you. So
you need to talk to Bass Pro Shop and get you a nice shotgun.
Yeah,
12 gauge pump will be perfect.
There you go. Get started with that.
I talked to Tyson Store from Poca de Nero, west of Gila Bend. Their guys limited out somewhere between 8 and 10 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, and I've been seeing Jerry Parkhurst and a bunch of guys. They're, showing the pictures of the bacon wrapped cream cheese, dove they're cooking up, and it looks good, actually. Yeah.
They are tasty. I'm not really into seeing how much crap you can put on anything.
Yeah.
Simple little salt and pepper and some garlic salt. I'm good.
Never tried it.
Maybe some mashed potatoes and cream gravy.
There you go.
Oh,
yeah. Now you're talking. Now you got my interest.
and some biscuits.
Yeah, but
all right. What do you suggest? Because we're rapidly moving into this transition with the monsoon activities, and I can't stress enough situation awareness for hunters is one thing, but guys on the water, that's something different with these chubascos popping up and kicking the crap out of stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, and, even in the woods, I mean, there's a certain protocol. My son, Donnie, and my eldest grandson, Mason, and I were up on an elk hunt up in 6B, and Matt, a storm came rolling in up out of the, we're right up on top of the Elk Creek rim, and this big storm comes rolling up out of the canyon, and we're in a 2500 Dodge Ram, and the thunder was shaking the truck.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just like, put another quarter in, you get vibrated.
Experience that in a motorhome.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And, the lightning was hitting the ground, popping trees, and that's the first time I've experienced wind shears firsthand. We're sitting here watching this stuff. I mean, it took a path all the way from the West Fork of Oak Creek clear into the community of Parks.
Oh, wow.
About a football field wide, wiped everything out. So.
Yeah, I've been caught out. Some night tournaments been caught out in it, and it's no joke. Always have an escape route. It pays to have good mapping at night. So because the spotlight's almost worthless when those waves at Roosevelt get to be 3 foot plus, and you can go hide in the marina, find a good cove where it's protected. And just a couple of years ago, when that incident happened at Apache, a family. They had a mudslide that came down because of the fires, and that water came through and actually overturned their boat and
really?
killed 2 of them. But I remember sitting in the back of the cove with the bridge on it. We always call it Car Body Cove.
Bingo.
I'm not sure what the actual name is of the cove at Roosevelt Lake, but we hid in there thinking we'd hide from it, and that wind came straight at us. We were, it got to the point where I was kind of thinking, it might be time just to beach it and call it good. That's how bad it got. So, definitely be careful. And
there is a time I've spent the night out on the lake several occasions, just tied up. Exactly what you're talking about. Find some cover and just tough it out. And then one time was took all the rods out of the rod locker and snuggled up in the rod locker, shut the door, and God, I hope this thing doesn't turn loose. So.
Yeah, definitely got to be careful, and the one thing you don't want to do when it hits is try to put it on the trailer.
Nope.
So many people do that, and they end up sinking their boats or getting hurt, and just try to find some cover and wait it out.
How many lower units have you seen snap?
Oh, no, I've seen boats sink. Yeah, but lower units and boats, and Andrew just had an incident last year where he got caught out in Andrew Napoleon. Yeah, and he did $20,000 worth of damage.
He didn't try to trailer, did he?
No, not at all. He just got caught out in it, and had his kid with him, so tried to just put it on the bank. So
okay, roger that. All right, we've got to flip into a break here at Fox Sports 910, 99.9 HM HD2. I'm Don McDowell with
Matt Shura.
Doug, are you at the Dairy Queen or Waffle House?
Neither one. I'm home enjoying some bacon and eggs.
God, you suck. Okay.
Nice.
All right. We'll be right back.
All season long, your home for some of the biggest
bacon and eggs.
Sounds good.
All right, so what are we talking about here today?
I'll tell you, fall fishing's a little bit of everything. That's the, time of year you can catch them deep and shallow. So it's just, it depends. Depends on what lake you're fishing. We have different fisheries in Arizona.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You talk about the California Delta, it's, average depth. There's deep areas, but, the average depth's 6 foot of water, so you're fishing shallow, but our lakes with as much waters in them, 240 foot at Canyon, plus, and, different lakes we have, those fish will be out deep, but this is the time of year where they can move up shallow. And
that right there is just a killer on Roosevelt.
Yeah, absolutely. That's super spook.
Yep.
It's a great bait, and that's a great color.
Well, that color.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what, if you don't have any of these, this is the Okie Shad.
Yeah.
That's a great bait. caught a lot of fish on this. Won some tournaments on this bait. It's a little bit smaller profile. It's a Spook Junior, Super Spook Junior.
Yeah.
So a little less intimidating for them, but it's a lot of fun to throw, and definitely it's getting to be that time.
Yeah.
But fall fishing's, I think it's probably my favorite time to fish.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, you can catch one in 2 foot of water and then go out in 42 foot of water and catch another one.
Yep.
You know, they're just kind
Absolutely.
of scattered, and they're pushing that bait around. So definitely time to get out there and practice techniques. And, you know, a lot of people say, you know, if you want to learn how to throw a technique and you're not good with a jig, you know, just a jig, just go out there and don't bring anything but a jig and, you know, just throw it all day. I never agreed with that, because as soon as you do that, they're going to be chasing shad, and you're going to be missing out on an awesome topwater bite, and you're not going to have any topwater, you know.
You need to do that on a non-tournament
Yeah,
day
exactly.
to begin with.
But still, I mean, just, you know, learn everything you can on it. And, you know, Tim Jacobs, who recently passed away, you know, he was known to be the best jig fisherman there was. And
Yeah.
I went up to him and asked him for advice.
He was better than Cruiser?
I'd put him up against Cruiser.
Yeah, Cruiser's.
Yeah, he's in the Carolina rig. Nobody can beat Cruiser for sure. And I haven't seen him in a while, as a matter of fact.
I haven't either. I haven't talked to him. What
Yeah.
in the world has happened to Shattenberg?
You know, he's still around.
He's like he evaporated.
Yeah, I've seen him on Facebook. I haven't seen him fish in tournaments anymore, but still a great fisherman and a wealth of knowledge for sure. You know what I think it is a lot of us are just getting old.
Stop it.
Hey,
Hey, what's Ron Schofield? Does that ring a bell?
Oh, Ron, yeah.
I just saw his good friend that he fished with.
I haven't talked to Ron for, God.
Yeah, he's
It's at the right prices. ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This segment brought to you by Boyd's Gun Stocks, makers of the adjustable agility and at-one stock for your favorite long gun. Head to boydsgunstocks.com for more details. Build with Boyd's. Show us your rack. How big is that elk, whitetail, moose, or mule deer? In the world of big game hunting, there's nothing better than having your rack on the wall and shown around the outdoor world. Head to huntingfishing.com and show us your rack. Now back to Don McDowell Outdoors on Fox Sports 910.
You know what? One of my favorite things to do is mess in somebody else's tackle box. Whoa! That's fun.
Yeah, this is more of a demo tackle box, like I said, for you know, the seminars we do and fishing in the tanks at Bass Pro and everything. So they don't like us hooking them for sure. But fall fishing's great, and you're saying it's a few weeks away. They're still calling for 110s this week, right? So
I would say probably 3 weeks. We're going to have some 110, 111 next week.
yeah,
The week after that, I think it's probably going to break, but it's going to be a slow transition down into cooler weather.
yeah, and days are getting shorter. So that, I mean, the fish know the seasons and all
they
that,
know.
but that water still has to cool off. And what happens is the bait starts congregating and they start schooling up, and that's why one of the reasons it's so much fun, because when you find the fish, usually you can catch a bunch of them. And you know, it's fall's a great time. You know, when that water temperature drops and those shad get schooled up, you know, the fish will push them on the bank, and you catch them on the bank, and then they'll push them back out deep, and you can catch them in 40 foot of water.
Yeah. Now, what's your? I've got a particular technique for bait balls, and that's top water and yeah.
I know you love the fluke.
Yeah, flukes are great, but you know when these guys are up tight on the shore, the fluke is awesome. Mm-hmm. But when they back off and they're in deeper water, say 15 to 25 feet out there messing around, you can throw the top waters in there. And the other thing that I like to do is, if that's going to produce small fish for the most part, and we know the social order, the bigger fish are going to be levels down. So
Not always.
well, not always,
Not
but
always.
if you're not catching them, I'll throw keep a crankbait tied on and run that crankbait down through the bottom of that bait ball and see if I can get somebody to play with that.
Exactly. And if you're going to throw a crankbait, especially at Roosevelt, that 6XD or the DD22s, those bigger profiles, the deeper running baits, and make sure you're grinding the bottom with them.
Shad pattern.
Exactly. Stick to your shad patterns in the fall. I believe for the most part is what I do, but that's the great part about fall fishing is you can catch them, shallow in the trees. You can go up the river and flip them. You can throw a buzz bait. It's a really versatile time of year and a lot of fun to fish if you're not.
Let's not be talking about buzzbaits today, especially the black ones. Stop it.
Have you seen this one? The three blade buzzbait, and Norman makes it, and it's a little bit quiet and more quiet and subtle, and it's a kind of a secret that Brad Cook showed me.
Yeah.
It's a triple wing buzzbait, they call it. So it's a lot more quiet. They have the big blades on a lot of buzzbaits, and they have clackers where it makes a ton of noise. And if you got some stain and that kind of thing, that's a great buzzbait to throw, especially when they're sitting in 1 or 2 foot of water. They always say that they don't hit a buzzbait because they're really eating a lot of times. They hit a buzzbait because it kind of makes them angry, and they hit it out of instinctive anger bite. Where and some of the most violent strikes you'll get is on a buzzbait.
On a buzzbait.
It's just
they will tear up a buzzbait.
But the one thing that I'll say about fall fishing is cover water, because those shad get congregated, the fish get congregated. Cover water, and if you get bit, slow it down a little bit, and fish that area real thoroughly. I've had days in the fall, when that temperature drops, and it's just every single drop on the spoon. Steve Fouch and Brad Cook both, they taught me how to catch fish on spoons, and we throw just the regular Bass Pro Shop Strata spoon. Start with a 1/2 ounce spoon. It works. I've caught them in 50, 60 foot of water on just a 1/2 ounce Strata spoon. It's just a hammered spoon.
Now, is that bendable?
This is the crippled herring. You bend it. You put a little bend in it. That's the secret with this
herring
bait.
Yeah, but the other one you had there.
No. This is a Castmaster. This is a small Castmaster.
Okay, no, the Castmaster. No.
They work when they're not really wanting that real erratic action, that fast moving spoon.
That bait right there. I wanted to mention on the saltwater side is there's some things techniques that you do on the boat. If these guys are in a trolling mode, and they'll have six trollers out historically, depending on the size of the boat. But there's a deckhand up on the bait tank chumming bait.
There you go.
Anchovies.
Bringing them in.
And when they start to chew on the bait, you stand right there in the back of the boat on the fantail and have one of those little guys on. Just free spool it, drop it, let it go, hang the hell on, because you're going to get clogged.
Won't hit the bottom.
Yeah. Well, you'll go down probably 15, 18 feet before you get hit, because you got these breezers back there. Oh boy, free food, here they come, smack.
Yep. And that's what's fun about spoon fishing. If you're sitting in 40 foot of water and you drop that spoon down and it only falls 15 foot, you just click the bail and set the hook. And that's one thing, especially with the lighter spoons. I was taught this way, and I always throw it on a spinning rod so it can free fall down and you have all that action. So if you just drop it off the side of the boat on a bait caster.
What line?
And that's another thing. The lighter line you can get away with, the more action you're going to have on your bait. So sometimes it doesn't matter, and the fish are just absolutely eating, and you can throw it on 17 pound, But for the most part, 8 to 10 pound monofilament even. Yep. So you have a little stretch. And that's, I throw it on fluorocarbon as well. But that monofilament will stretch. So that little treble hook that's on there, it's not going to pull off those fish as easy.
Now how deep are you going to fish that little bitty Castmaster?
Well, this is more. I got this more for the yellow bass when I used to guide.
Okay.
It'd be a lot of fun just to get bites, and if the bass were slower or having trouble catching them, I'd put on a small spoon, lighter line. No bigger than 8 pound line. This is a quarter, I believe. It's real small.
Okay, let's change yours. Let's go to the cripple herring. We're going to fish 25 to 45 feet of water. What line are you going to put on that?
This is, and it all depends on where I'm fishing. If I'm fishing at Pleasant, where there's a lot of trees and you got to pop them out of trees, I'll go 15, 17 pound, 12 minimum, because this is a 1 ounce spoon.
Okay, where I'm going with this, I'll just pop a question. When do you throw a braid, or do you?
I have, for spoons, or just for spoons?
Spoons.
I like to I like to throw the monofilament just because of that stretch, and I feel like it gives it more bounce. When you pull up, it kind of loads up, and pops up.
Yeah, that's a good thought.
So, yeah, and we've spent hours in pools looking at baits with different kinds of line, that kind of thing. And just for me, that monofilament, and even straight fluorocarbon has some stretch to it. It works fine with straight fluorocarbon. But that monofilament really seems to make a difference in how many bites you'll get at the end of the day. So 8-pound monofilament, and put a 1/2 ounce strata spoon on and go bouncing it off the bottom until you see them. And once you see them on the graph, that's the thing. Fish, I think most bass fishermen have seen them chase shad to the surface. And then you can throw topwater. I love throwing the dippers. That's one of my favorite baits.
Yeah.
Dippers and flukes. They all work real well when they're on the surface, and then they disappear. And you think they're gone, and it's like, oh, you lost them. Well, guess what? They could be down there 20, 30 foot, and they're still eating. They're still getting their chow on.
Yep.
And that's where you got to use your electronics. And that's where this forward-facing sonar, active target, live scope, now we can find them. Before, we know exactly where they are and catch them, and then they disappear. And then we just do zigzags and look for them on a straight down.
Yeah.
Now we can just go,
Yep.
there he is. There they are.
Boom.
And then you can cast to them. Okay, I'm 30 foot out and cast, and now we're catching them, where we never caught them before. And there's a lot of controversy going on the internet right now with the forward-facing sonar, and, is it cheating or is it,
Well, that's like a lot of things. Excuse me. Guys are going to gripe and complain about new technology because they don't have it.
Yeah, and it takes time to learn it. That's the thing.
It does.
I can tell you Josh Bertrand won the U.S. Open. What is it, $150,000 he won?
Yeah.
And he's the best there is at that forward-facing sonar.
Yeah, but look, you take that back in time, and let's pick on Hummingbird. That came out, it was pretty simple, but God, it took a month to learn to use that damn thing.
Yeah, just even the 2D it takes skill. And John Murray made a living, catching suspended fish in 80 foot of water, the suspended fish that were in 30 to 40.
Yeah.
He made a living doing that.
Yes, he did.
And now you got these younger kids that are great with this forward-facing sonar, and they're killing it out there.
Yep.
So
New generation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
All right, we got to flip into a break. Hey, when we come back, with any luck, and if the wind's not blowing in downtown Payson, we'll get a hold of James Guggenauer, Rim Country Custom Rods, talk about what's happening on Roosevelt, how he did up on Duncanby Lodge. I'm Don McDowell.
Matt Shura.
And Doug's home with his feet up, chewing on